Welcome to MILF Ministry podcast, where we explore self-love, healing, and intimacy. My name is Ayodele Vassell. I'm an attorney, a creative, and a MILF. Merch is now available at milfministry.com. You can join our live conversations on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter by following at MILF Ministry. Today's episode, we're going to discuss the phases of my sexual desire. We're going to look at 2017, 2018, and 2019. I just thought it would be fun to do like a quick short episode on that journey. If you want background to like my journey into MILFhood, then I suggest you go back to the first few episodes just to catch up. Because some of my listeners have heard every single episode, so I don't want to kind of repeat the journey. But the short version of the journey is I have been single since 2016, and I was unintentionally celibate for about 18 months. And in 2017, I decided that I was ready to have sex. And the podcast is dedicated to some of my sexual experiences, but also is dedicated to my emotional and spiritual journey to just move forward, getting comfortable with myself emotionally, spiritually, physically, and sexually, like what that journey has looked like. People around me would hear my stories and hear my jokes and say, you know what, Ayodele, you should really share your story with other people. So based on that, I decided to start the podcast, MILF Ministry. Today's discussion about my energy from 2017 to 2018 to 2019 is almost like a cautionary tale of like what you think you want versus what you need. Sometimes life moves at a pace, or I guess let me back up. The journey of my sexual desire between 2017, 2018, and 2019 is all about me realizing that the universe is going to give me what I need when I'm ready to receive what I need. I spent so we'll start with 2017. So my theme for 2017 was anybody will do. I literally just want to have sex. Like, I was so thirsty for sex. I was just like, please give me dick. Please give me attention. I just wanted to feel like some man, any man would think I'm sexy. Like some man, any man would want to have sex with me, because I was struggling with a lot of just body image issues and desirability issues. Like I wanted to have sex, but the idea of a man being sexually attractive to me, for whatever reason, was just outside of my realm of reality. And it's like, no matter what I did or who I tried to connect with, it's like, it was so difficult to find someone to have sex with that lived in Los Angeles. That's number one. And even when I did have sex, it was hard to like make what I considered a genuine connection. That's number one. And number two, have an orgasm. And so the purpose of me sharing my phases of 2017 was because all of that led me to realize that I have to get right with myself. That's really what prompted this journey. And this is how I ended up with the podcast. Because 2017, I spent so much time focused on outside validation. Remember, I said anybody will do. And as a woman, based on how I'm hardwired, it's not easy for me to climax. It's easier now because I'm more comfortable in my skin, but it's not easy for me to climax. So the truth is, anybody wouldn't do. I started to realize, like, I was worried about how soft you'll hear this in other episodes. I was worried about how soft my skin is, body hair. I was worried about stretch marks. I was worried about would he think I was special? Like, I wanted to make sure that I was special to whoever I was having sex with, that if we wanted to take it there was a possibility of a relationship. I was really, really overthinking sex, and at the same time saying anyone will do. And anyone that knows anything about the law of attraction, you'll understand that doesn't make sense. If you literally say anyone will do, right, to the universe, and you're seeking outside validation, but you're also someone like me who's focused on growth, focused on her spiritual journey, the universe was like, no, you're not really ready for sex with anybody. Why? Because you're concerned about, does he think you're special? You're not comfortable in your skin. You're not this, you're not that. And long story short, the truth of the matter is that it would have led to a lot of toxic situations for me specifically, because I would have found myself trying to attach, and I actually was trying to attach to people that I didn't need to attach to. You get what I'm saying? So I would have sex with someone and I would literally just spiral. It would be, am I special? Will we hang out again? Oh my gosh, if he doesn't want to hang out again, does it mean he doesn't like me? Just like really, really childlike thoughts surrounding me and the person that I had sex with. Fortunately, looking back, I didn't really have sex with that many people in 2017, and I'm so glad. And fortunately, the people that I did have sex with, I already knew, and there was a pre-existing relationship. So my spiraling never really got out of control, because these were men that were just like, I'm not going to take advantage of where she is emotionally. Like, I'm going to help her out sexually, but I'm also going to make sure that she doesn't get the opportunity to attach to me in an unhealthy way, if that makes sense to my listeners. It's my belief that I was not being satisfied sexually because my focus was external. My focus was, am I attractive to who I'm having sex with? Does he want to spend time with me? How do I taste? How do I feel? How do I smell? Am I special to him? Praying for a love. I spent a lot of 2017. It's not funny because it was a need that I really wanted. I really wanted a lover. I wanted a consistent person to spend time with, sexually and non-sexually. It was a need that I wanted fulfilled, like actual physical touch and sexual chemistry and a connection with someone. For whatever reason, like I said, looking back now, I can reflect and say I just wasn't ready emotionally for a lover. But it was very frustrating. I remember that year saying, why is it difficult? Like, people go out and have sex all day, every day. Like, what is the big deal? Why can't I just find someone to have sex with? And I remember feeling very frustrated and sad. Like, it shouldn't be this complicated. But one of the biggest lessons I learned through that frustration was, after a while of looking outward, I was forced to start looking inward, which was, Ayodele, what do you want out of a sexual encounter? What do you want from your sexual partner? What is important to you? And I sat down with myself and started to think, like, if I could craft a lover, what would he look like? How would our energy be sexually, but also how would it be non-sexually? Because I'm a woman that likes to laugh. I'm a woman that loves music. So if we can connect on different levels outside of sex, that's really good for me, just my spirit, because there are things that I like, before you have sex, you may want to laugh, or you may want to listen to music, or people like to have sex while listening to music. So it'd be nice if you have, a connection with someone that's just outside of the physical. For that reason, I believe that is why my attitude of saying anyone will do didn't really go align with what I wanted. And that's why the universe didn't really deliver a lover. So I think 2 reasons. I'm going to go back and just circle up the information. So for 2017, I really wanted a lover, My theme for that year was anybody will do. Just give me some dick. I was so thirsty. Like, just give me some attention. And I had a lot of difficulty finding a lover. And I believe it's because I needed to be clear with what I actually wanted for myself, what felt good to Ayodele, so that I could actually attract what I wanted. Because I really don't walk with the energy of anybody will do. And please understand that this is not a judgment on people who are free sexually and who can make sexual connections with whoever, whenever, because that's who you are and you have a right to be that way. I just think the most important thing is identifying who you are so that you can operate within the realm of your own happiness. If you are someone that's free sexually and can connect and have passionate sex with someone where you don't need any other connection besides that sexual energy that you meet them, you feel the spark, and that's it. Cool, be that way, because that's who you are. And don't allow anyone to force you in a box saying, well, no, you should be in a relationship and you need to be with one person and this is how it should be morally or whatever. I don't believe in that. If that's you, then be you and be happy. The flip side of that is, if you are someone who seeks a genuine connection and that's important for you when you're choosing a lover, then be honest with yourself and say, this is who I am and this is what I want. And be bold enough and be brave enough to walk in that truth. But long story short, 2017 taught me that I had to sit down with myself and focus on what I wanted, because I'm not the type of person where anybody will do. The energy of the interaction with me and the person matters. It just matters. That's how I am. And our connection both inside and outside of the bedroom matters, because that's just what type of person I am. So I had to take the time and find that out. 2018 started out with a bang, literally and figuratively. And in 2018, the theme of that year was, we want dick. And I'll go into what that means later, what dick is specifically. But even bigger than that, it was, we got options now. We got options. So 2018 was the year that Ayodele discovered that she had options. So once I really sat down and made my way through 2017 and got over a lot of issues, just emotionally, or I don't even want to say got over, because that's not an accurate description. I'm still working on myself emotionally and spiritually every day. But 2017 was a huge curve of, you are now a woman who has to take ownership of her emotional and sexual desires, and you have to get a handle on what kind of women you want to be moving forward. And how are you going to balance your energy if you're going to interact with somebody outside of a traditional, this is my boyfriend or this is my husband relationship? Like, what are you going to do for yourself where you could find happiness and find sexual pleasure outside of anything that you know as a relationship? Because unfortunately for me, I went from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to marriage. So I never really had too many situationships or anything where I sat down and tried to focus on myself. I was always in some kind of relationship. In 2017, I was forced to not do that. So in 2018, it started literally raining dick. And anytime I went out, I would meet a guy and he would be very clear, if you want to have sex, or basically the sexual options were available. So I went from a drought to a flood. And I actually had to start deciphering he could make a good sexual partner, or no, he couldn't, or, just figuring things out. So it was a total shift in what I was used to in 2017, because I was used to, oh my God, I just want to have sex. I just want to be touched. Anybody will do. to now my energy shifted where I'm like, well, no, this is what I want sexually. This is what I want emotionally. And if I don't think you can meet that, then I'm not having sex with you. Like we're not even having that discussion. 2018, my sexual experiences changed. In 2018, it was the first time that I had, should I say this? Well, no, it's my journey. We're being honest. In 2018, my sexual journey shifted. So remember I said 2018 started off with a bang, literally and figuratively. That was the first time in my life where I had a sexual encounter with a man that led to an orgasm on the first encounter. And I was I 35, 36, like, grown, divorced, all of that. And it was powerful and impactful to me because this was not based on love. It was not based on, am I special to this man? It was strictly based on sexual chemistry and sexual energy. We didn't know each other that well at all. We had a vibe, but we didn't know each other that well at all. So for me to be comfortable enough to really just let my guard down, and orgasm was a lot for me. And then I'll take it a step further. We were not in a private space, so to speak. We weren't like all the way in a public space. We had some degree of privacy, but we were not in a private space. So for my listeners to understand, so for me to climax, typically I was in a quote unquote loving relationship with someone that I knew very well, and I felt comfortable and I felt safe. And typically you would be, in a private place, whether it's a home, a hotel room, whatever, like you would be somewhere private. And that's the only experience that I have had. And in 2017, I was having sex, but I was not having orgasms. And that was an issue for me. And like I said, that led me to understand that I need to be more focused on myself and my pleasure, as opposed to looking outward for validation or outward for pleasure. I need to be very comfortable with myself. So going back to my encounter in 2018, there was no emotional comfort with this person, so to speak, right? Because we didn't have a relationship at all to where it would be like, oh, yes, I feel safe and comfortable. So we didn't have that. And also where we were was not a private place. So long story short, for me to start out the year having sex and it resulting in an orgasm, it just kind of shifted my whole perspective because it was exactly what I wanted to happen. My goal, for those that don't know, my goal was to be able to have sex and be able to climax outside of a relationship, outside of love, outside of the need to feel special for this man. This need was very important to me because I wanted to make sure that if I entered into a relationship with a man, it was based on the fact that we were actually compatible. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't based on, oh my gosh, I haven't been touched in 18 months and this man just gave me an orgasm, or I want to be loved by this man, right? It has nothing to do with the health of the relationship or our compatibility or our spiritual journeys. I just want to be loved. So this is why I'm in a relationship. For me, I wanted to be very practical, like sex is sex, relationships are relationships. So in 2018, I really need to get comfortable with sex so that when I move forward and decide to be in a relationship, I'm deciding this based on, once again, compatibility. So going back to the theme, 2018, we got options, bitch. I had sex with a few different people, and fortunately, most of my encounters led to orgasms. And the shift, I believe, in my energy was I set out the year focused on making sure that whoever I was having sex with, we had a certain level of chemistry. That's number one. Number two, I tried to make sure, not I tried to, I was very confident in saying, like, this is, if I'm going to have sex with you, like, this is my goal. So I was articulating my sexual needs to my partners ahead of time. Like, I would tell them what I like. Like, I know exactly how I like to be licked. I know exactly how to tell you and show you how I like to be licked. I'm quite comfortable discussing that. I know how I like to be touched. I know the size of penises. I know what feels good, what doesn't feel good. I know the angles and positions that feel good and don't feel good. And so I'm able to kind of talk my way through what I think would be good. And some people are like, oh, that's not cool. That takes the fun out of it. Sex, you should just go with the flow. But I decided in 2018, I was going to talk. If you wanted to talk, or if you were interested in having sex with me, we were going to have a discussion about exactly what I liked, so that based on your reply, I could be like, I don't really think you can give me what I like. And I don't have to waste my time. Because who has time to waste? It's 2018. People have bills to pay. I'm a lawyer. I'm a mother. So many projects that I'm on. I'm working like 60 hours a week. So when it's time for me to have sex, like, I'm trying to have the best sex I can have. Point blank, period, with a T. Okay? Like, who has the time for bad sex? I'm sorry. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said Miss Kitty. One of the biggest blessings about having options, because I know morally, especially as women, morally, we are taught that, even if you're single, you should be only dating one man at a time, or you should only be having sex with one man at a time. For me, the beautiful thing about 2018 was that I only had sex when I wanted to have sex. And I only had sex with who I wanted to have sex with. And the result of that was me figuring out who I like to have sex with and why. And that pushed me into my 2019 journey, which is basically, I realized just how important chemistry is and the energy of my partner is. So we're not ready for 2019 yet, but I just want to talk to you about the journey. So once again, we're going through the phases, 2017, 2018, 2019. Just the difference in my energy as a woman and how it shifted my perspective and my experiences sexually. The phases of my sexual desire, so to speak. So back to what I was saying. In 2018, because I only had sex with who I wanted to have sex with when I wanted to have sex, I was really able to find the best sexual partner for me because I was able to compare. And the comparisons were like, it wasn't like, oh, I had sex with this person 3 years ago and a fantasy of what it was like, and now I'm having sex. It was like, oh no, I remember what sex was like with him versus him versus him. And I have more recent comparisons, right? And now I'm like, oh, no. I like this person. And I like this person because of our energy and our chemistry. And it's, how do we interact before sex, after sex? How do we interact when we're not having sex at all? Like, how are these interactions? Oh, I actually like this person and I like having sex with this person. So I found a really good combination. But yeah, it just taught me a lot about many things because no one was the same penis size. No one was the same person, just in terms of the energy that they brought to my world. I didn't have the same relationship with any of these men. Like, each person, I have my own reasons for liking their energy or not liking, things about them. But it was real, like I said, once again, it was really, really helpful because it really helped to solidify the genuine connection that I formed, if that makes sense. So for me in 2018, having options helped me make the best choice for myself. And it helped me be confident in the choice I made, because it wasn't like, okay, this is the only guy I've had sex with, so now I'm tripping because it's just the only guy I've had sex with, or I'm desperate, or I'm lonely. And it also made me appreciate this person so much more, because when you have options, right, but you find yourself naturally drawn to one particular person, sometimes that could just help you feel more connected, if that makes sense. I don't know. For me, it just helped me feel like our connection was more intense. It was a stronger connection because I didn't have to choose this person. I had other people that I could have chosen for many other reasons, but I was still drawn to this particular person. And for me, coming out of a marriage, coming out of a divorce, that was important to me, because emotionally, I didn't want to just jump into a new relationship. So that was me, and that was my journey. So 2018, the year of options, was fabulous. It was also kind of frustrating, but it was fabulous just in terms of having options, being able to have sex with different men, being able to compare them sexually, being able to compare the chemistry, being able to compare our vibe outside of sex. All of that was great for me because I wanted to have options, and I wanted to know that if I was going to, quote unquote, choose someone, I was choosing someone because I had been through some choices. And it wasn't just, okay, you're next. Okay, you're next. Okay, you're next. Okay, you're next. It was like, no, let me just be free. And then if I have a desire to be with one person, it's a true desire to be with one person, because I know they can take care of me. I know they can satisfy me in many different ways. So all of that led to this year. This year is not over yet, but this year I've really, really gotten comfortable with knowing exactly the type of energy that I want sexually, and the chemistry that I want sexually, and also the energy that I want to have with someone outside of sex. And it's just really been a blessing. So I can't really talk about 2019 too much because the year is not over yet, but just know that this year is the year that I focus on energy, and I focus on chemistry, and I focus on getting exactly what I want out of a relationship. Because I believe in 2018, because I was so focused on options, I was able to choose what I wanted, but I wasn't really firmly planted in like, no, this is the bond that matters to me most. And dare I say, my focus is less sexual, because 2017 and 2018 were very like, okay, I want to have sex, or I want all these different sexual experiences. And I'm still the MILF, so we're still going to have sex. Come on now. But it's like the shift is it's more focused on energy. And another shift happened this year. So because I was more honest and more vulnerable with who I am and what I want and what I need, the type of the intensity of my sexual encounters really just went up. They went up to another level. And I believe is because I made the transition from anybody will do to, oh, we got options, and being excited about the options, to really tapping into what I need, like what I actually need sexually and emotionally and spiritually from who I'm having sex with. And because of how I operate sexually, once I tapped into that need, I was able to get it fulfilled in a way that I couldn't even imagine. So at 37 years old, I'm having really intense sexual encounters. And it's all because I took time to sit with myself and think about what brings me pleasure from an energy standpoint, right? Because I've kind of pushed beyond physical. I've pushed beyond how many partners I could have at one time and all of that. I really tapped into my own energy. And so I'm able to give energy more intensely, and I'm able to receive energy more intensely, if that makes sense to my listeners, because I'm operating from a freer space. So I hope this helps. These are the phases of my sexual desire. It went from strictly physical, like I literally just need to be penetrated. Please, someone touch me, kiss me, give me some dick, to that was 2017. We need to be penetrated, please. To 2018, which was, oh no, I got choices, so I'm going to choose who penetrates me. I mean, we always have choice, don't get it twisted. But 2018 was like, okay, let me really take some time and figure out what I like. Penis size, what I like in terms of chemistry with the person. What do I like in terms of our friendship, our bond? Like, how do I want us to be? How do I want to feel? To 2019, which was, Iodele has really tapped into her energy. And because she's tapped into her own energy, she's able to connect with someone's energy in a much more intense way. So she's able to give sexual energy and receive sexual energy in a way that she's never done before. And it's kind of cool because she just went through her own journey and took her own time to get where she wanted to be. And for me, the most important thing about this podcast is just sharing these little snippets and sharing these little moments with you. And once again, I always pray that it touches someone and it helps someone to feel a little bit freer. I've tapped into about a 2-year journey. This is a very short snippet into my whole life. And I hope that it helps another mother out there who's on her journey trying to figure her way out. And long story short, I just want you to know that your sexual desires are perfectly natural, and you should take your time and have a judgment-free discussion with yourself, which is who am I as a sexual being? What do I want? What do I need? And give yourself permission to figure that out outside of what anybody else has to say, so that you can get to what makes you happy sexually. That's really all this podcast is about. Just helping other women get to where they need to be sexually. And as always, I look forward to hearing your feedback about your own phases of sexual desire and what your journey has been like. And if you haven't listened to this podcast before, just for you to get some context, I was with my ex-husband for almost 15 years. That was the only sexual partner I had. And when I say I had a huge learning curve, I had a huge learning curve because people that have, like, so many people, even if you get married at 30, you've had just the experience of like being an adult woman and changing a sexual partner, right? And going through what that feels like. And I just didn't have that. All of my women adulthood, for the most part, was with my ex-husband. So there were just so many bumps and hills and valleys that I had to go through to get comfortable in my own skin and get comfortable with a new partner, that I just want you to know it's okay to take your time and figure things out. And life is not a movie or a TV show. Like, your first sexual encounter may be awkward, but that's okay. Just get it out the way. Go on to the next one. Move on to the next one. But my biggest prayer for all of my listeners is that you're blessed to find a sexual partner that allows you to feel comfortable in your own skin and allows you to feel comfortable for wherever you are, you know, whatever your phase of your sexual journey is, that you find someone that can meet you in the middle and support you through where you're going. And I think you'll find that there are a lot of men that are emotionally available and there to help you, you know, through your journey, if you're just honest about where you are, who you are, and what you need. That's number one. And number two, I think one of my girlfriends helped me the other day because I was talking to her about an issue I was going through and how I kind of see relationships as absolute. And I kind of see like, okay, we're either in a temporary situation or this is someone that I can see a future with. Like this is someone that I can see as a husband. And she was encouraging me to not look at life in such an absolute way. You know, you may find a sexual partner that is also a friend that can help you on your journey to where you need to go. And you guys can go through challenges together and go through growth together. But don't discredit or disvalue that relationship because you're like, oh, well, we're not about to be married anyway, so fuck it. Like, we just about to fuck. Unless that's what you want to do. And if you just want to fuck, then go do that by all means, because we've all been there. But I think it's important for women to really take ownership of your sexual pleasure, your sexual desire, and focus on finding a partner that can meet you where you are. Because throughout this journey, I've met men that have talked about marriage, like they want to be married and things like that. And I already knew that's not where I am right now. Like, my focus is not being married. I am a mother. I live alone with my daughter. I manage a household already. So it's like, for me to think about marrying you, I have to think about how this is going to affect me financially. Like, where would we live? How is this going to affect me emotionally? Like, me and you getting along, but also spiritually. Like, I'm bringing you into my life and I already have a child. So now it's not just how you and I get along. It's how are you, me, and my child going to get along? And for me, where I am right now, emotionally, that's just a lot. That's a lot to consider. And I just don't want to deal with that right now. And I have the right to not deal with that right now. And some people may say, that's ridiculous. Like, why would you push love away? Or why would you push marriage away? I done already been married. I'm not rushing to get married again. But that doesn't mean that I don't want a bond with somebody or want to have intense sex or have a really good relationship. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that I don't want that, but it's okay to say, this is where I am right now. And this is what I'm going to focus on. And I still want great sex in the middle of that. Like, while I'm figuring shit out, I still want some great sex. So can I get some of that while I figure out everything else? But in all seriousness, I just want to make sure that, as I'm sharing my quick little snippets of my story or my journey, that I'm setting not only myself free, but setting other women free in the process. So once again, thanks for listening to MILF Ministry Podcast. This episode was dedicated to the phases of my sexual desire after divorce. And we covered 2017, which was the year of anybody would do, but nobody would come. Nobody would rescue me. But that was the universe's way of saying, focus on yourself. And when you focus on yourself, we will send you what you need. And you'll be ready to receive it, okay? 2018 was my year of, we got options. And we want dick. Like, we had standards for the dick that we wanted and had a lot of fun. And now we're still in 2019. It's not over. But this year, my energy and my desire or my desires are focused on energy. I know the type of energy that I want, and I know the type of bond and connection that I want with the person that I'm having sex with. And as a result, I'm having intense sexual encounters because my focus has shifted on to energy. Thanks for listening to this episode of MILF Ministry Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and then share it. Merch is available at milfministry.com. You can join our live conversations about self-love, healing, and intimacy by following at MILF Ministry on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. My name is Ayodele Vassal. I'm an attorney, a creative, and a MILF. And I pray you always have honey for your spirits and honey for your lips.